everybody, and welcome. I am Louise Edington, and I am a soul astrologer and shamanic practitioner. And Tara invited me today to talk to you about the Scorpio full moon, which is really powerful. I'm also a writer and an author of the book Modern Astrology that you can find over there. I'll be quoting from that, but you can feel free to have a look at the book afterwards too. So a full moon is, in astrological terms, an opposition. The Earth sits between the Sun and the Moon in the chart. On this full moon, the Moon is in Scorpio and the Sun is in Taurus. The Sun is conjunct Mercury, and there are other planets aspecting, and that means connecting from our perspective. But I don't want to get too technical, so I won't be talking too much about that. The moon in the night sky appears to grow at some times and shrink at other times, depending on its position in its varying cycle. This change is observed every month. The moon doesn't have to have its own light. Instead, it reflects the light of the sun at various angles. And the moon's cycle consists of 8 phases. The moon is often observed to reach its peak at the full moon, a period of time when human emotions are said to increase. When the moon's observed to be going from the new to the full phase, it gets brighter and brighter, and that's the waxing moon. And it includes the new crescent, first quarter, and gibbous. And that's often the most fertile period in the moon's cycle. It's often said that if you intend to have a child, then this period is your best time to do so. The waxing phase is also said to be a period when creative inspiration is higher. However, when the moon is observed to be shrinking in size and losing its light, it's said to be going from the full phase to the new phase. This period is known as waning, and it includes the phases of full, disseminating, third quarter, and balsamic. This period is also observed to occur for a 2-week period, and it's considered to be the barren time in the moon's cycle. It's about retreat and contemplation. It's also considered to be the best time for hair and beauty treatment when you intend to reduce. Now, I kind of wanted to give you a background because I didn't really know who my audience was going to be when I came here. So the rest of it's kind of going to be more about the astrology. Okay. But the lunar cycle, from my perspective, is really like a breath. As a receptive energy, it represents our feelings in response to the other energies. The moon rules the sign of Cancer, the sign of the mother, the past, our ancestry. The moon represents nurturing, protection, belonging, emotions, and the oceans. Its element is water, and today the full moon is in a water sign, Scorpio. In my book, I say, in your chart, the moon is your emotional body. It's a reflective and receptive energy that responds and reacts. The moon is your instinctive and intuitive self and how you unconsciously respond to the world around you. Whereas the sun is your ego and the part of you that shines in the world and acts, the moon is your soul, your most private and yet most connected reactive self. The moon is very much a feminine energy that acts in all of us. She's the mother, your female ancestors, your home, and how you see them. She represents where you are coming from, your upbringing, how you felt and feel about the world around you. The moon's silvery glow corresponds to the reflective, mirror-like energy that is within you, and the face known as the man in the moon shows her very human side. Ironic that it's called the man. But the side that is the most immediately felt energy in the cosmos. So today, as I mentioned, we have the moon in the sign of Scorpio. Now, Scorpio is the deepest of water signs. So we have a watery yin, feminine energy in a watery yin sign. So you start to get a feel about what this lunation is about. And incidentally, the moon is actually full at 3:12 p.m. So you'll be in meditation at the full moon. So it's very perfect. Scorpio, however, is a complex water sign. and is ruled by Pluto in modern astrology and Mars in traditional. Pluto is the lord of the underworld and Mars is the god of war. So this gives some idea of the energy of Scorpio, despite being an emotional water sign. Scorpio is represented by the scorpion, the snake, and the phoenix, and the death card in the tarot. And everybody goes, oh. So I love my tarot card, my deck. So, because on that we do have the scorpion, and we have the snake in there somewhere, and we have the phoenix at the top. So, and this is going to be very relevant to the meditation we're doing too, actually. So it's also the energy of Kundalini. So how appropriate that I'm here doing this with Tara. This is the energy of floods of powerful emotion and of literal floods. My basement actually flooded under a Scorpio full moon a few years ago. And did anyone notice that it barely stopped raining since the moon moved into Scorpio and for the full moon on Thursday? Now, it doesn't do this every time the moon's in Scorpio, but you get Scorpio and a full moon, and you can guarantee there's going to be floods somewhere, and it's going to be represented within you as well. So, it's also the energy of deep spiritual awareness and awakening as the Kundalini spirals upwards from the Scorpion energy of the reactive, stingy lower chakras via the snake spiraling up the spinal cord and up to the phoenix of rebirth and higher consciousness. This moon is also known as the Vesak, I'm not sure how you say it, moon, or the celebration of Buddha Day in the Buddhist traditions. It's one of the most significant and auspicious festivals of the Buddhist year. It takes place on the fourth full moon of the Chinese lunar calendar. Now, this is a celebration of Buddha's journey, which encompasses his birth, his nirvana, attainment of enlightenment, and parinirvana, his ascent or death. So Buddha's own journey reflects the death and rebirth cycle of the Scorpio energy as well. Some Buddhists believe that all three of these events occurred on the same day, and that's on the Scorpio full moon. In Buddhism, this full moon is believed to be the most powerful one of the year, as according to metaphysical tradition, the Buddha returns to the Vesak Valley in the Himalayas once a year to bring spiritual energy and a new wave of awakening light that glows the next 12 months. Buddhists all over the world hold the moon in high regard as they believe it's a symbol of pure consciousness, and also that it controls the water that circulates through the earth, sustaining all living creatures. So you can already see the power of this full moon, since water is the primary element in our physical body. Add in the fact that on this full moon, and for those of you that don't really know much astrology, this is what I look at and read for it. I'm not going to point out the things, but this is where I read about this full moon. So, what was I going to say? So we're going to add in the fact, I mentioned that Mars is the traditional ruler of Scorpio and what could be said to be the lower, more reactive energy of the Scorpion, because Mars is very direct and very reactive, is in the sign that the moon rules, Cancer, today. So Mars is also currently what's said to be out of bounds, which means he's greater than so many degrees of declination, either north or south of the ecliptic. But what that means is that Mars, the traditional ruler of Scorpio, is currently kind of acting a little bit wacky, a little bit crazy, a little bit out of control, a little bit stretched, and he's in another water sign, which kind of indicates a bit of a boiling pot, okay? So we don't only have the power of the Scorpio energy, we've got the power of Scorpio kind of, it's like sticking one of those hot things in a pan of water that makes it boil, and it's just boiling all over on the pan. So this is indicating the power of this energy, and all this is working within you. So this full moon is given extra transformative power by this. You're being given the opportunity to grow in self-awareness and consciousness. It's a spiritual death and rebirth, if you will. So as I mentioned, the moon opposes the sun in the sign of Taurus on the full moon, and Taurus is the sign of the physical. It's our humanness, if you like. Taurus represents the 5 physical senses: sight, touch, hearing, smell, and taste. So the Scorpio full moon is, therefore, with Earth in the middle, in other words, kind of we are in between the Scorpio moon and the Taurus sun. It's connecting your emotional body and your physical body and the world. So you're being invited into a deeper integration of all that you are. The planet Mercury is conjunct the sun in Taurus on this full moon, meaning that the path to help you towards that goal is through information, the mind, conversation, combined with sound and touch. So this workshop couldn't be better for this moment. You're in the right place, basically. So there's also a real sense of awakening on this full moon, as Taurus ruler Venus is connected to the great awakener, the planet Uranus, and both are also in the sign of Taurus. So we've got this massive kind of earthly energy streaming this strong Scorpio energy down to Earth and into our physical body. We're being drawn into the depths of our soul on this full moon to experience the opportunity to face some very deep feelings and emotions in order to release. That you may find yourself in the meditation experiencing the need to cry. So I know it's quite public, but you're not on camera, so feel free to let rip. Since Thursday in Kundalini class, I think I've cried my way through every class. So. It's a big release coming up. But you may even feel anger and rage. There's a lot of things coming up from the lower chakras, from the bowels, if you like, on this full moon, because it's just so intense. Okay. And so notice what's coming up for you on this emotion, in your emotions and in your perceptions. So as I mentioned, the moon is like our breath. I think I mentioned that ages ago. So it's a long inhale on the new moon and a release on the full moon. So you're going to experience this. You were saying, Bridget, when you came, the Scorpio full moon is the most powerful one. There is kind of always this before and after. There's always a palpable release on any full moon, but on this one, it's just amazing, and you're in the right place. So find yourself asking as you go into meditation, what past patterns, what past events will you choose to release so that they no longer control you? Allow tears to flow if needed. Feel the energy of the awareness and the consciousness raising moon spiral up your body to the sound of the gong and the bowls. And like the Buddha on this Vesak full moon, allow yourself to experience a spiritual death and rebirth.
Does anyone have any questions for Louise? I know that can be a lot of information, and I will try to disseminate that information and bring it into the meditation practice that we're going to do today. But before we do that, do you have questions for her? Okay. Yeah, and if you find that you have questions during or after, she'll be happy to answer them. I'm going to turn on the speaker actually really fast. I'm not used to having a mic that doesn't follow my head. Way used to a headset. Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, and for those of you who are watching this elsewhere, my name is Tara, and I am the founder of Good Vibes Collective. And at Good Vibes Collective, we do lots of things that help us to heal our lives and raise our vibes. So it's a collection of tools that provide people with the means and resources to shift out of any current space that doesn't feel or sit right with you. So we like to empower people to be able to do things differently in their lives. So we have all kinds of music, which you'll get to experience our music today. And then online Kundalini Yoga and meditation classes. And then we do events like this, which are really fun. And probably my most favorite thing about what we do. But just a little background about Kundalini Yoga. If you're new to Kundalini Yoga and sound healing, or if this is your first time, so whether you're like in the beginning stages or this is really new, Kundalini Yoga is the yoga of self-acceptance and self-awareness. So we're really working on going inward, learning to acknowledge where we are right now, and letting that be enough. And then with that knowledge, we can have more awareness and more integration into our current surroundings. So that means that we get to interact with people differently because we have a certain amount of self-love and compassion. And it allows us to do differently than we were doing before. And Kundalini Yoga is an ancient practice, but we also view it as a technology that helps to reprogram the brain. So we're working a lot with neuroplasticity. We're changing the neuron pathways in the brain so that we can be different, so we can feel different, so we can operate from a place of neutrality and non-reactivity, and we have choice. And we don't always get to choose our circumstances. We don't get to choose all the time what happens to us. But we do get to choose how we respond. And if we have tools that allow us to clear and heal old patterns and habits, then we really do have choice. We're not being acted upon. And so Kundalini Yoga is very helpful for that. And after listening to Louise talk about this full moon, the reason we do lots of events surrounding the full moon is because it is an exhale. It is a release. It's a huge opportunity for us to shift where we have been and move into somewhere new with more mindfulness and more intention. So we're going to be able to do that today in our practice and with the sound portion. And I love the idea of transformation. And I really love astrology. I would say I dabble. I don't have a lot of background, but what I do love about the sign of Scorpio is the transformation element. And it's represented by multiple signs so that you can transform. So when we think about Scorpio, a lot of times we think of the scorpion. It's also represented by the phoenix rising from the ashes. And then my favorite, and I don't know, you can correct me, but one of my favorite books about the zodiacs talks about the dove also being a representation of Scorpio, which means that we can transform to a place of peace. And so although Scorpios occasionally, if not all the time, get a very bad rap, that sign is very powerful because of transformation. And Louise also mentioned the snake as being one of the symbols. And in Kundalini, we talk about our energy as though it is a snake that's coiled at the base of the spine. So everything that we're going to be doing here today is to awaken that energy that we're storing in the base of the spine and drawing it upward into the brain. Because then we can allow for that transformation to happen. So it's so beautiful that we're coupling Kundalini with sound on this Scorpio full moon, because we're really tapping into the essence of what Kundalini is, that transformation, that shift, and that energy flow. And Kundalini really allows us to do those things. It helps us to create a different mindset. So, like she also mentioned, feel free to feel. It might not always be beautiful what you're feeling, okay? But allow yourself to honor and feel and experience fully what comes up for you. Because for us to move forward, we have to acknowledge where we are now. Otherwise, we're just recreating a false cycle. We're repeating something that hasn't actually shifted. And so we have to honor our pain and our experiences. So feel free to do that today, or if you need to, you can do it when you get home or to your car. My car is my favorite place to release things. That is my little safety place. Are there any questions before we get started in this portion of our special event today? Okay. I want you to feel comfortable. I want you to feel comfortably uncomfortable is maybe a better way of saying it. Okay, because we're going to stretch you just a little bit. So, in Kundalini, I feel like I need this closer. I'll scoot. Okay. So in Kundalini, we use mantra. We use mantra to tap into our personal sound current and to shift our mindset. The mind has over 50 to 70,000 thoughts in a single day. And majority of those are happening at a subconscious level. And so because we aren't aware of what we're actually thinking, we don't always know how those thoughts are processing and what the effect those thoughts can have on our brains and our bodies and our emotions. And so mantra help us to reprogram what's happening in the mind at a subconscious level. So we always tune in our practice with 2 specific mantras. And these mantras are like area codes. So we're dialing into a higher frequency. And we're signaling to the brain that we're shifting into a different space. So then the more we meditate, specifically with Kundalini, the mind knows, oh, this is when I quiet down a little bit. And you might feel some resistance. And it's also okay if you think, this is weird. I don't want to do this. Weird is cool. Okay. So just lean into that discomfort. Allow yourself to be challenged by this and to tap into your sound current. Okay. So the first mantra that we use is Ong Namo Gurudev Namo. And it means I bow to the infinite wisdom within me and around me. Okay? Just say it with me once. Ong Namo Gurudev Namo. Beautiful. Okay? So beautiful. Okay, rub the hands together. You're going to create some heat and energy in the palms of the hands. We have meridian points that run from the soles of our feet all the way up. So we're creating that heat and energy, feeling our own energy. And then press those thumbs right into heart center. Lift and lengthen the spine. Roll those eyes up to that spot right between the eyebrows. Call that our third eye point, our point of intuition. Feel everything traveling upward. Your sit bones are rooting in the ground, creating a beautiful anchor. And I want you to focus on your breath briefly, in and out through the nose. Feeling that breath flow. And I want you to turn your mind to an intention or a situation that has been coming up for you. What do you desire to release and let go of on this full moon? Because we will be in meditation, we will be in deep savasana, releasing and letting go today at the peak of the full moon. So if there are things for you that seem ready, or that you would like to look at a little bit more today in our time together, this is that moment to look at it now. And we'll revisit again. We'll have that opportunity. So visit that in your mind. And then focus back on the flow of your breath, in and out through the nose. Our breath is our life-giving force. Learning to tune out everything around you, going a little bit deeper with each breath. And then turn your mind to that first mantra. Ong Namo Gurudev Namo. We're going to say this mantra together 3 times. And if you're new to mantra, I just challenge you to try it. Find your own sound current. Feel the resonance in your chest, speaking your truth, bowing to that wisdom within you and around you. Inhale through the nose together. Exhale through the mouth, releasing. Inhale again. Exhale and release. One more big deep inhale and exhale through the nose. Releasing through the mouth. And inhale to begin. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Inhale deeply. Hold and suspend the breath. You're going to squeeze the root lock or mul band, anus, sex organs, and navel point in and up. Sealing off the air, allowing it to travel up to the brain, rolling those eyes up to that spot between the eyebrows, drawing everything upward. Take another sip of air through the nose. Keep holding and squeezing. Exhale and release. Take a few breaths here, checking in with you. Because Kundalini is that yoga of self-acceptance and self-awareness, we go inward, we check in, we become mindful of what's happening within. We're going to continue with the second mantra. And that second mantra is our Mangala Charen mantra, which is the mantra for protection and projection. This mantra is just a little bit wordier. So just trust your own sound current. Lean in. And while we chant this mantra, you're going to imagine a circle being traced around the outside of you. So you're going to fill that space with love from your heart center. You're going to expand and extend from your heart center. That is our safest boundary. It allows us to be vulnerable. It allows us to connect with others. But it also gives us protection. And it allows us to project who we truly are with authenticity to the world. This is the mantra. It is Ad Gudename, Jugad Gudename, Sat Gudename, Siddhi Gurudeve Name. We're going to say this one 3 times as well. Inhale together through the nose. Exhale, releasing through the mouth. Inhaling again through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth, releasing a little more. Rolling those eyes up to that spot between the eyebrows. Let's inhale to begin. Ad Gudename, Jugad Gudename, Sat Gudename, Siddhi Gurudeve Name. Ad Gudename, Jugad Gudename, Sat Gudename, Siddhi Gurudeve Name. Last time. Ad Gudename, Jugad Gudename, Sat Gudename, Siddhi Gurudeve Name. Inhale deeply again. Hold and suspend that breath. Squeeze that root lock again. Challenging yourself to hold the breath a little bit longer. When we hold the breath, we're resetting the adrenal system and forcing the body into fight or flight mode. Take another sip of air through the nose. Keep holding. Keep squeezing. Exhale. Release the hands into the lap. Take a few breaths here, checking in with you. Noticing how your breath feels, how your brain feels, how this use of mantra, no matter how foreign it may be today, how that mantra affects your brain. What did you notice about using mantra? Revisit that intention you set at the beginning. And then open those eyes. We're going to move into a few warm-ups. So we're just going to get our breath moving. We're going to awaken the spine. And then we're going to do a meditation. And then you're just going to relax in Savasana. So whatever that looks like in the space that you have, you're just going to relax fully and deeply while I play the bowls and the gong. And anything that's ready to be released, hopefully you'll feel the bowls and the gong just taking that stuff away. But we're going to really focus on this first warm-up and waking up our Kundalini energy, which again we keep in the base of the spine. So we're going to be doing some spinal warm-ups that you'll start to feel that rotation. And I want you to focus and notice the flow of your energy upward. Okay? So the first one is called Sufi Grind. So you're going to bring your hands to your knees, however possible that is for you right now. I really just want to bend this microphone, but I'm not going to break it. I almost broke it last time. All of the clips started coming undone, and I was like, sorry. Stay. So I'll just be gentle with it. Okay, so hands are going to be on the knees, and this is called, again, Sufi Grind. So when we inhale, get our song going, you're going to arch the spine around the front. On the exhale, you're curving that spine around the back. We inhale around the front, exhale around the back. And you're just going to watch that flow of breath in and out through the nose, rolling those eyes up to that spot between the eyebrows. Really feel that heart center opening around the front, that spine curving around the back. Feel that breath flowing in and out through the nose. Feel that energy traveling upward in a spiral. Just a few more rotations. Switch directions. Really stretching out that other side now. Keep moving. Feel that breath deepening, lengthening, stretching. Inhale, coming center. Hold and squeeze the breath in the lower body. Exhale and release. Drop the chin to the chest. Slowly rotate right ear to right shoulder. Head moves around the back. Left ear comes to left shoulder. Chin back to chest. Keep moving in gentle, fluid circles. Leading with the nose. Lengthening the spine. Watching the flow of breath in and out through the nose. Matching the movement with the breath. Switch directions. Really feel that energy traveling upward. Stretching, breathing, releasing. Inhale, coming center. Hold and squeeze the breath. Exhale and release. Take a few breaths here. Checking in with you again, noticing how you are feeling. No judgment, just observation. Stretch out those legs if you need to. We're going to do some shoulder shrugs, and then we're going to do either, depending on where you are, cat-cow or just regular spinal flex, okay? But once you stretch out those legs, bring your legs back into easy pose, and we're going to do our shoulder shrugs. And shoulder shrugs are really helpful for us, and we use them frequently in Kundalini because of what they help us to release. Okay, so we bring the hands to the knees. On the inhale, we draw the shoulders up to the ears. On the exhale, we let them drop heavy. Inhale up, exhale drop. You're going to move quickly. You can start slowly at first, but you want to work up so that the breath starts to sound like a sniff. In and out through the nose, and you're releasing things. Feel that breath in and out through the nose. You can move with that rhythm. Our shoulders represent our ability to experience joy in this life. When we have trapped emotion, it's important that we release things from the shoulders. This allows us to feel more joy and more present in our experience. Lock into that rhythm. Feel that breath. Really roll those eyes upward. Feel that energy traveling. Inhale, bring those shoulders all the way up to the ears. Hold and squeeze the breath. Suspend the breath. Feel the energy moving. Exhale. Release the shoulders. Take a few breaths here. Checking in with you. Then roll out those shoulders backward a few times. And forward. Inhale, stretching those arms overhead. Give your spine a few twists. And shake out those hands. You can stretch a little bit to one side. Back to the other side. And back to center. Release those arms. Take a few breaths here. Noticing what might be coming up, what you might be releasing. How many of you can feel the tension in your shoulders? How many of you can feel things moving? Shoulder shrugs works really quickly, so it's a powerful tool that you can use at any time that you really need to move things. Okay, so when you feel that tension and you're feeling like you're not experiencing joy fully, do that shoulder shrug. You can just whip it out real fast and just let some stuff go and watch yourself shift as you tap into that tool, as you power your breath with the movement and allow yourself to release. We're going to do one more warm-up before our meditation. And we're going to do cat-cow if you can. Okay, so if you can't come into cat-cow, you're just going to do spinal flex here. But if you want to and you feel like you have room, does anyone want to come into cat-cow that is here? Okay, so some of you can come into cat-cow. If you can, this will be a hard one to cue without my headset. You're going to come into all fours. Your hands are going to be squarely underneath your shoulders and your knees are going to be underneath your hips, okay? The tops of the feet are flat against the floor. And on the inhale, you're going to arch the spine down, lifting the chin to the sky. If you're remaining seated, you're going to arch the spine forward, but you're not going to drop the chin back on spinal flex. You will if you're in cat-cow, but not in spinal flex. Okay, so spinal flex is going to look like this. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. If you're in cat-cow, when you inhale, you're going to draw that navel point to the floor and lift the chin to the sky. On the exhale, you're going to drop the chin to the chest, rounding the spine and pulling the pelvis towards your face. Whichever modification or position you are doing right now is beautiful. You're going to fuel that breath. Anytime you're arching the heart forward, you're going to inhale. Anytime you're curving or rounding the back, you're going to exhale. We're just going to be here for a few moments. So wherever you are, you're going to inhale and exhale. Really stretching that spine, allowing the energy to move. Rolling those eyes up to that spot between the eyebrows. Feel that breath in and out through the nose. We start slow. Going to work up that pace to a rapid flex so the breath sounds like a sniff. You're halfway there. If you haven't yet quicken the pace of your flex. Feel that breath in and out through the nose, powerful like a sniff. Inhale deeply, stretching that heart forward or down, holding the breath. Exhale, curving the spine upward to the sky or backward, depending on which posture you're in. Holding the breath, squeezing the root lock. Inhale, relax. If you're in cat-cow, drop the hips to the heels. Bring the forehead to the floor. If you're just in seated, relax, allowing the breath to normalize. Taking a few moments here. And then bring yourself back up into seated if you're not in seated. You can shake out the legs if you want to. We're going to do one final thing for just a few moments. We're going to work on some breath. You're just going to bring the left hand into Gyan Mudra, thumb and pointer finger pressed together, resting on the knee. Bring the right hand up. You're going to inhale through the left nostril and then exhale through the right. Inhale through the left, long and deep. Exhale through the right. Roll those eyes up to that spot between the eyebrows. Just a few moments of balancing breath. Finish the breath cycle that you're on. Then inhale deeply through the nose. Hold and squeeze the breath. Briefly pull that root lock. Rolling those eyes upward. Feeling that energy traveling. Exhale and release. Take a few breaths here, checking in with you. Noticing how that breath pattern makes you feel. The breath pattern helps to balance out the hemispheres of the brain, quiets the constant computation of the brain, balances our emotional response, and allows us to move through shock seamlessly and with attentiveness to our needs. It's also a really good breath pattern to do before bed at night. So if you have trouble falling asleep, you can do that breath pattern to quiet your mind and allow yourself to relax deeply so you can sleep peacefully. Go ahead and open those eyes if you feel ready. Stretch out those legs. We're going to move into our meditation. And the meditation that was really pinging me for our class today is one that we do a lot in class, but not as often at events, because a lot of times we have all experiences. But this meditation is so beautiful and parallels so well with everything that we've talked about with the full moon and our Scorpio, with the full moon in Scorpio. And if you have any Scorpio in your natal chart, if you feel like you need to shift, you need transformation, this meditation is so beautiful for that. So we're going to do it. It's called the Laya Yoga Kundalini Mantra meditation. So we're using a really, really powerful mantra. So we're going to be chanting our mantra. And you can sing or chant as loud as you want or as quietly as you want. We'll have the music up. So you'll be chanting with the song, so you won't feel like you're totally exposed, like, but I don't sing or chant. You do now. And you're doing beautifully already. So I'll cue you through that, and we're going to talk just a little bit about it. But I think the biggest thing that I can share about this meditation is the spin. Okay? So we're working with the spin of our energy while we chant this mantra, while we do this meditation. So it's 3.5 cycle rhythm, and it's moving clockwise. So if you were to look down on your spine, you would see your energy moving like a clock. Okay? And for those of you who that just still is like mind warping, like for me sometimes it is, I just want you to close your eyes, and I just want you to think about your energy moving to your right hand, and then around your back to your left hand, and then back to the right hand, and back to the left. Okay, so it's spiraling upward, beginning at the base, okay, at the root of your spine, and traveling all the way upward out through the crown. Okay, so I just want you to start visualizing and feeling that flow of energy, and you might actually feel yourself rocking a little bit in that spiral. Okay, that is also fine if that feels right. Okay, we're going to focus through the brow point. Okay, so the eyes are rolled up to that spot between the eyebrows, and we're focusing through it. Okay, so rolled up there. Okay, and then we have a light neck lock. So in Kundalini, we want the channel from the base of the spine to the brain to be really open. So you're going to think about your spine lifting and lengthening, and you're going to pull the chin back to you. And that doesn't mean that the chin drops down. It just means that it comes backward, so that the spinal vertebrae are all in alignment, okay? All the way up and down. Because we want that energy flow to be really clean and free-flowing, okay? And then our hands can be in Gyan Mudra, so thumb and pointer finger pressed together and resting the wrists on the knees. Or if you want to, you can bring your hands to heart center in prayer pose. Whichever feels more comfortable for you today, with the intention that you've set, with your own energy flow, you tune in to what feels better for you with this meditation today. But either here or here. And sometimes I just like to do this too. So if that also feels good to you, just press those hands into the heart center. So those are all of our logistics except our mantra. So we're going to go over our mantra. And the mantra is Ek Ong Kar. Say that first phrase with me. Ek Ong Kar. So that O-N-G sound, if you were to pinch your own nose, the sound flow would stop because it's really nasally. Excuse me. It's right here in our cheekbones, okay? So Ek Ong Kar, like you're driving a car, okay? The second phrase is Satanama, okay? Satanama. And Satanama is the cycle of creation, okay? So this is beautiful because we're in this transformation. So death is the transformation part of our cycle. So we're moving through that into our rebirth, okay? And then Siri wa he guru. Say that with me. Siri wa he guru. Beautiful. Okay? So the whole mantra means one creator created all creation. Truth is our identity. Great and indescribable is the wisdom. And Waheguru is the teacher who brings us from darkness into light. Okay, so we're transforming, we're moving from that place of darkness into light, so that the darkness becomes our greatest teacher. Okay, so that's our mantra. When we say the ek, you're going to feel the navel point pull. Okay, ek, you just feel it tug. Okay, and the most beautiful part about this mantra is that to create the spin, we're pulling the diaphragm. So we're adding a little sound on the end of each phrase. Okay, so it sounds like this. Akonkara satanama siriwa he guru. Okay, and the little sound is us tugging the diaphragm. Okay, so it creates that spin. Okay, and at the beginning of the mantra, it's at the base, and it's moving all the way out of the top at the end. Guru. Okay, so it looks like this. Akonkara satanama siriwa he guru. And it begins again. Akonkara satanama siriwa he guru. Okay, does that feel good? Sound okay? Okay, just if you remember nothing else, feel your sound spinning, okay? Feel the energy traveling upward. And roll those eyes up so that you draw everything upward, okay? Any questions before we start? I know that is a lot. I do want to read this for you, though. The extraordinary Laya Yoga chant brings the soul and destiny present. It suspends you above conflicts attracted by success in the activity of your positive mind. It lets your activity serve your purpose. It makes you creative and focused on your real priorities and helps you sacrifice what is needed to accomplish them. The word Laya refers to suspension from the ordinary world. It fixes your attention and energy on your essence and higher consciousness without normal distractions and attachments having power over your reactive awareness. Okay, so you're plugging into your higher destiny. You're going to expand your ability to do all that is important to you. You're going to be able to see it better. You're going to be more connected to your purpose. Okay? So I'm going to cue up this song. And the first couple times, I just want you to hear it and visualize the energy. Okay? And feel your little navel point pulling. Okay? At the very end, you're just going to release it, and then you'll begin again, okay? Just listen the first few go-arounds. You can become attuned to the mantra. Hear the part where the navel tugs. Akonkara satanama siriwa he guru akonkara satanama siriwa he guru akonkara satanama. Go ahead and begin this time. Akonkara satanama siriwa he guru akonkara satanama siriwa he guru akonkara satanama siriwa he guru akonkara satanama siriwa he guru. You're doing beautifully. Allow that sound current to wash over you. Keep chanting. Let it reprogram your mind and transform where you are now. Siriwa he guru akonkara satanama 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 siriwa
E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa E Guru Ekonkar Satanama Siriwa, Eguru Akunkara, Satanama, 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 Siriwa, Eguru Akunkara.
Inhale deeply. Hold and suspend the breath. Squeeze the root lock. Anus, sex organs, and navel point in and up. Feel that oxygen traveling upward to the brain. The energy continues to spin. Exhale and release. Take a few breaths here. Checking in with you. Noticing how your brain feels. What's coming up? And then if you'd like to, and there's room, you can come lying on your back in Savasana. You might have to move around. You might have to go to the top level. You can spread out. Or you can just stay in seated, whatever feels most comfortable. You're going to allow yourself to deeply relax. You're going to tuck those shoulder blades underneath you. Opening that heart center. You can bring the arms at the side, palms facing upward. Or you can press the palms into the earth, grounding yourself. You can also rest those palms on the belly or the heart, gifting all that energy flow back to you. Whatever feels most comfortable for you. Allow yourself to come into that posture now. Feel your breath flow in and out through your nose. Allowing yourself to deeply relax into stillness. You're going to hear the sounds of the bowls and the gong washing over you. The bowls and the gong use the theta and the delta wave. The theta wave is REM sleep or a meditative state. The delta wave is that deep dreamless sleep that the body needs for healing. Allow yourself to let go, to release. And in this moment, at 3:12, this full moon, allowing yourself to let go. Inhale deeply. Exhale. Inhale again. And exhale. Begin to awaken the body. Wiggle the fingers and toes. Rotate the wrists and ankles first in one direction and then in the other. Inhale, stretching those arms overhead. Feeling the stretch through the navel point, pointing the toes. Bring both knees into the chest, hugging them to you. Rock side to side, being careful where you are located currently. They don't roll off something. Massaging the livers and the kidneys here. If you can drop both knees to one side, stretching the upper body in the opposite direction as those legs. Feeling the twist in the spine, breathing into the hips. If you're seated, you can just twist the spine. Drop those knees to the other side. Twisting the upper body in the opposite direction again as those legs. Breathing into the hips. And then you can gently lift yourself up or rock yourself up into seated position. Just take a few breaths here. You can twist that spine a little bit more. You can stretch those arms overhead. You can interlace the fingers, press the palms to the sky. Just a little twisting. Shake out those hands. How are you feeling? Good? Okay, so we just cleared things. We moved some stuff. We got in touch a little bit more with our energy, with our breath. And before we close, we're just going to tune out with the Long Time Sun song. In Kundalini Yoga, we use this song every time we finish our practice, because this song is an acknowledgement that our practice is done. And it also gives us a sense of protection, and it's like a blessing that we gift to everyone else too. So it's like we leave this beautiful space that we've created, the things we've cleared and transformed and healed, and then we get to go forward with strength, okay? So you're going to rub those hands together, creating heat and energy again, and then press those thumbs into heart center. You're going to return to that beginning, rolling those eyes up to that spot between the eyebrows. Lifting and lengthening the spine. Allowing the sit bones, again, to root deeply. Creating an anchor point. And we're going to tune out with this song. And the words of this song are, may the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light within you guide your way on. You're going to sing it first for yourself. Then you're going to sing it for someone you love who needs a little bit more light. And finally, you're going to sing it for the world. Sit up tall. Feel that love expanding from your heart center. Roll those eyes up. See yourself with light. And inhale deeply to begin.
May the long time sun shine upon you, and all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on.
This time, sing it for someone you love.
May the long time sun shine
sing it for the world.
May the long time sun shine upon you, and all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your guide your guide your
Inhale deeply and join me for one long Satnam. Satnam. You are light, you are love, you are loved, you are truth. You can transform at any moment. You can shift out of an old space into a new space. You have the power. You have tools now. And you can live the life that you deserve. The choice is yours. Thank you for being here with me today. Satnam. Thank you, beautiful humans. Hopefully you feel a little differently. I know that the setting here is unique. We're grateful that the Hotel Red Lion does stuff like this for the community, that they bring people to this space called the Living Stage so that people here in the hotel and in the community can connect and experience the cool things that our city has to offer. So it's been a pleasure to have you here. Just take your power with you in this transformative time and know that you are truth.